we're gonna have an amazing group of thought leaders, experts in different industries coming from all over the world. We're gonna have really soon one of the representatives of one of the leaders in the world of Internet of Things. Earlier today, I don't know if you have the opportunity to watch Tony Fadell's speech. He gave an amazing presentation, he gave an amazing speech. And our next guest, our next speaker, his name is Cédric Giorgi. He is the director of special projects at Sigfox, and he is one of the biggest thought leaders in the world of IoT. I want to ask you to please welcome Cédric with a huge applause. The stage is yours. Here it is. You need to be really close.
Yeah, looks like I'll have some issues. So I'm gonna, hi everyone, I'm Cédric, waiting for my slides. I'm gonna talk about the Internet of Things, and I have a very simple objective for you guys today, is to change your mind on what is the Internet of Things and where is the potential between what we call the IoT, so Internet of Things. So perfect. So I call my presentation the butterfly effect for the IoT, not just because my company has a butterfly as a logo, but it releases ideas that you'll get, which is small sensors, small messengers, can have a very huge impact in the end, and they can change everything. As I said, my name is Cédric Giorgi, I'm Director of Special Project. This is a very weird name and weird title. I always dreamt to be a special agent when I was a child. This is usually the title you get when you're in a growing startup with 300 people. I'm reporting directly to the CEO and managing like special projects directly for him. So what is Sigfox in a few words, in a few slides? We're what we call a global low power wide area network. It's a completely new category in the connectivity world, I'm going to explain. And we created this a few years ago back in France, where we're from. We're actually in Toulouse, so in the Elbeuf city in south of France, but now we're expanding in like more than 8 countries. And we created this because we wanted to have a solution where things and devices can send messages for very low power. Yeah, and low power is key. If you want to have a sensor, will have autonomy forever. The second objective is to have something global, so something where you integrate connectivity solution and it will work everywhere in the world. The last one is, the previous last one, low cost. You want to have it cheap, and you want to have it easy to use. When you're in hardware is hard. This is something you're going to hear about. But if you want to help people who's doing hardware, let's try to keep things simple in the end, especially for connectivity. So, as I said, low power is complementary. And here you have 2 axes. You have the range, so how close you need to be from a gateway when you're using Wi-Fi or BLE, or to say your cell, which is usually GSM. And on the other axis is low power or high power. So you have Wi-Fi, LTE, Bluetooth, and Sigfox here. So you see low power for short-range communication. Bluetooth is perfectly fine, but sometimes, for example, this is short-range communication between this thing and this, and because of the environment we have here around, it doesn't really work well because of high interference. So if I want to have this outside working completely independently, because I have like a motion sensor, let's say, I cannot rely on Bluetooth. Let's say I don't have my phone, I need to rely on something which is wide range. Up to now, it will be GSM only. So you put a SIM card, this is machine to machine, but it's really energy intensive. So we created something so that you can have something like this, a sensor, which is lasting for months and for years. And on Sigfox, we only manage the connectivity, so the coverage. This is where we stand so far. As I said, we started 6 years ago. We're now in 25 countries, expanding, adding pretty much 1-2 countries per month. We're not yet in Lebanon. That's also one of my reasons to come here. Our model is to find a local partner who becomes a distributor for the Sigfox connectivity. So if you're in IoT, wait. If you're in IoT, if you're in this business, or if you're in telco, if you want to have like a new business case, come talk to me and we might have opportunities. We have other Middle East countries coming, so it would be kind of disappointing not to have Lebanon in the coming months and years. The last thing about Sigfox, and generally speaking low power, is that we're focusing on small messages. Small messages, I said 12 bytes. 12 bytes is like 12 characters. So the entire world we're mapping with antennas, with new connectivity, is for messages like this. So usually people are like, what? Like 12 bytes? I cannot do anything with it. And the reality is that with small messages you can do a lot. That's what I'm gonna show you now. But let's go back to the Internet of Things for the rest of the presentation. You might have seen this. Gartner Hype Cycle, 2005. You see IoT is at the hype. It's both a good thing when you have your area of interest, which is at the hype of the Gartner Hype Cycle. But the bad thing is that what happened next. So the year after 2016, there's no Internet of Things anymore here. The answer to why is because the IoT is just too wide. It just doesn't mean anything now. The Internet of Things is everywhere. It's like connected homes, smart cities, industrial infrastructure, it's consumer object, it's everything. So what they've done is that they basically split it IoT in different things. And that's the first message I want to give you now, which is careful with the Internet of Things. It's not about objects, it's really about things. It's not about having a new stuff you're going to finance on Kickstarter, which is a connected object for your kid or for your home or whatever. It's really like the potential of connecting everything in the world, everything around us, like where you're sitting will be connected, this table will be connected, the world will be connected, everything will be connected. So the IoT potential is really beyond just objects people will use. And it's not just about new things, it's existing things. When you want to enter an IoT, a lot of people will say, yeah, I want to create this completely new device. No, what about adding sensors to the existing world around us? And then the split between the two categories will be complex objects. So the ones where you have a lot of processing inside, robots, and like big category of the IoT, again, which is more oriented to intelligent objects and robots. I won't talk much about them. I will focus on the other side, which is more like sensor-based systems, where in the end, the way to describe them is relatively easy, is three things. Hardware is hard, but in the end, you have three things to create a connected device. You need energy, it might be battery, it might be plugged, it might be energy harvesting, I'll come back at the end. You need data, I/O, input or output, so it means either your sensor, your device is a sensor, or your device is an actuator, which is reacting. Let's say smart irrigation, your device is getting an information, you will open the valve so that the water can go, and connectivity. And usually when people think about IoT, I'm focusing on this again, they will think about this. Wristband, connected wristband. But will you think about this? Damn clicker. This is a connected beehive. This is not exactly what you'll think about when you think about IoT, but the IoT here is a real business case. The people who are managing the beehives, usually beehives are not in cities, I don't know how it is here, but it's more like on the countryside, in mountains, and the thing is that they want to monitor them, they want to know what's happening there. They cannot go there, drive every day to check if the beehive is either full or if something is wrong, or if, I don't know, like a bee has came in order to eat the honey or something. So what they've done here is that they've put simple sensors within the beehive that will monitor not only the weight of the hive, but also if there's some movement, if there's something wrong happening. And in this case, no battery, no plug. Usually GSM is complicated, so it's a real challenge for them to get connectivity. I want to give, again, to help you go in the direction I want you to go, take the washing machine example. What does it mean for washing machine to be connected? The first reaction you will get is, okay, I'm going to put a Bluetooth low energy device, and it's going to be connected with the user. So I'm going to create an app to use my washing machine. What's the point? So I'm going to be alerted when my machine is done. Well, I need to go there anyway, get my clothes and hang them out. So there's not really a point. What about trying not to connect the machine with the user, but machine with the home? So my washing machine that I've installed in my home in one way or another, will be connected to my home so that the machine will be able, for example, to alert my bathroom that the heater needs to be turned on because I'm gonna dry my clothes in the bathroom. This idea of like local communication and integration between the machine and the home. But again, it's complex. It's actually a big battle happening on like who will be the main platform for the smart home. So big corporates like Samsung, Google. I mean, the reason why Google has bought Nest is because they want to be the platform for the smart home. Smart Samsung with smart things the same. So it's a big battle for short-range communication and like interoperability between devices there. The use case I want to bring you guys is what about connecting the washing machine with the manufacturer? The user doesn't have to do anything. It's just that the washing machine will come with a few sensors so that the manufacturer, let's say Bosch, not to always mention Samsung, the manufacturer will be able to get data. Oh, wait, can you go back? No way. No, back, yeah. The manufacturer will be able to get data and do what we call predictive maintenance, which is a big category as part of the IoT. These big brands and the big appliance and the white goods, what they want to do, they want to be able to sell service and not just sell product. So when they're getting data, now they'll be able to call you in the morning and tell you, hey, we've noticed that your machine might have some issues in the next coming days, so we're going to bring someone to you. And so the washing machine will last even longer, so the service will be even longer for them. This is not just a dream, this is something that is coming right now on the market. All of these use cases, one idea to keep in mind is the more integrated, the higher the chance for success. One of the reasons why connected home is not taking off is because the integration between one specific device and the rest of the home or the rest of the device is very complicated. One of the reasons why industrial IoT is taking off is because the corporate, the client, can manage the full integration between the device, the hardware, and the service in the end. To think about how integrated your use case will be, what are the challenges for your use case if you want to manage an entire end-to-end solution, and this will be a key for success. For the connected beehives I was mentioning, what you have to do is to not just put a screen in front of the guy who's managing the beehives, but he has to get alerts, for example. So you need to make sure that your user, your target, will get the tools to get the service at the end of the data in the end. But in the end, I'm talking about connectivity, I'm talking about hardware. Don't miss your objective. It's not about the hardware, it's not even about the data, it's about the service you get in the end. And then it's reverse engineering. When you know exactly what is the end service you want to provide, then you'll think about the data you need, and then in the end, you'll start with the hardware. Too often, people are just geek people and they're excited about creating a new device, but they don't know exactly what the end service will be. The challenge is that usually, to be able to find new services and create innovation, you need to know what the hardware is capable of, so that you don't invent something where you cannot have the hardware. So it's like a cycle of innovation between the three of them. For the rest, I want to give you more IoT solution where everything started with very simple sensor. An example you might know, which is a button. I was mentioning small messages, 12 bytes. Well, when you have a button, it's not even 1 byte, it's not even 1 bit. It's just the fact that the device has communicated by itself, it's an information. On the left, you see a Finnish company created a bt.tn button, and on the right, the Amazon Dash button, which is a very interesting example of how one button put in the right way with the right integration between the device and the service that the user gets in the end, which is delivery of something. It works perfectly well. And you'll see in the end I have something else. Next. And as an example of a very simple use case where in the beginning you have a very simple sensor, which is a RFID card reader. This device might not be really clear, sorry, it's blurry. It's a device you put in homes of elderly people, so that the customer care and home care you bring will just have to badge in the home to check that they've gone to this customer. So it's like tracking, activity tracking in like crowdsourced, because it's in the places that you don't own, and you just put this device and you can track everything. And the interesting lesson from this partner, so that I have a drone here, is that they started with just this RFID reader, which is connected, and because they have this new device that is in the home, they thought, what about adding new sensors to create new services? So they've added the temperature sensor, and because it's in elderly people homes, what they can do now is like prevent with services when it's too hot or too cold in the winter. Something happened in France a few years ago during the summer is that elderly people, they forget about drinking water. So because it was too hot, they died. So if you can measure the fact that it's really hot in the home, you can bring them someone. And then they can check that they've gone, so you know that you have higher chances of checking all your elderly people. Other sensors, the agricultural sensor will be completely transformed by the IoT, by robotics. It's a very exciting field. Here I have two sensors on the right. You have one which is a sensor for the agriculture industry. You put a sensor, it measures your humidity and some agricultural stuff like fertilizers and water outside, inside the ground. And the agriculture, every morning, they will have a tablet, and he will be able to check if he has to put water and where. Completely changing the way not only he uses water, so better use of resources, but also fertilizers, trying to avoid using too much of them. On the other side, it's not much about the agriculture, it's for your pool. I don't know if you have a pool here, but basically, for those of you who have, you put that in water, and you get alerted when you have to put some pH, change the pH, or put some product in your pool. Completely independent, but you still have to come and do something with your pool. Waste management. Again, the IoT that I'm presenting you is perhaps not the sexiest one, but it's a real one. You have a big company in Finland again, called Enero, which is becoming a leader for waste management system. Here is use case is very simple. Even my daughter, she can understand it. These are connected. You have a level sensor. When it's full, well, the integration that has been done with the trucks that are coming can come, get the bin, and go back. So we can finally avoid all this garbage that are either empty, which is fine, but then when a truck is coming and it's empty, it's a waste of resources, or full, and the people around are pissed off. Tracking is a very cool use case. All these trackers you see in movies, you know, where basically you put a tracker in a car and it will last for months. This doesn't exist up to now. Why? Because the connectivity you need needs to be wide. The device needs to be independent, and the battery needs to be either very big, or your device will be communicating like once in a week. With new solutions like low power radio network and what we're providing, these trackers can last for 6 months or a year, completely changing the way you track things, especially for logistics. One company we're working with has a very unique use case, which is non-sexy at all. They're tracking pallets. You know, wood pallets? They have 2 million of them. They want to track them because it's so expensive, especially what's usually on the pallet. So they're using new trackers like this. Predictive maintenance, non-sexy example, that's a water boiler you have in your home. That usually is the kind of stuff you don't want to have like not working, because it means cold water, it means danger if it's gas, if it's working with gas. So a company in Europe, they put simple sensors and they will call you. The example that we're giving with a washing machine, it's actually working with connected boilers like this. But my favorite is what I don't know if it's a good one, what I call instinctive IoT. It's when the integration has been done in a such way that you won't have to do anything. The entire loop is automatic. You don't even have to realize it's connected. What you get in the end is a service. And the example I'm giving you here is the next step for the Amazon Dash, which is the auto replenishment API. So on the right, you have a water jar from Brita, a brand. They've connected it, not just so you know what is your water consumption, blah, 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 this is useless. They've connected it so that when your filter is about to be, to be replaced, because it's connected on Amazon, it will automatically order a new one on Amazon and you will get it delivered on your front door. So what you get from the IoT is not just like data. What you get from the IoT is the fact that your world is what some people are calling enchanted. Should be the next slide. But the fact that IoT brings magic to the things around us. This is not something I invented. It's an MIT professor called David Rose who wrote a book, Enchanted Objects. Really invite you to read this book. And the fact that we don't want to use, this won't work anymore. The fact that we don't want to use screens, we want to get services in the end and get the world enchanted. Finishing with a few minutes. Can I see my time? Thank you. I showed you these pillars. The one on the left, on the bottom, is energy. What will be even more interesting when this will be completely disrupted with something I mentioned energy harvesting. Yeah. Energy harvesting has been around for a few years. It's basically generating energy from anything, like movement, like electromagnetism, solar energy, or just like whatever technology might be brought by these guys. But this will become much more available on the market very soon. So it means my sensor won't need any, because the energy consumption that will be needed is very low. My sensor won't need any battery anymore. What you'll get is basically like the ground is the IoT that can last forever. A sensor which is getting the energy from around him will last forever, no need for battery change, no need for more energy. That is the world we're going to be in the next few years. Just by adding a few sensors, you can change the world. It's just not, it's not like every American startup will tell you, yeah, I'm going to change the world because I've created an app where you can share a pic. Here with the IoT all together, because this industry is all connected. I mean, you have a lot of stakeholders working all together. We can really change things. This clicker is a mess. We've created something called the Sigfox Foundation, where we want to do this by ourselves and with partners, where we invest money and we work with partners to try to show that for specific use cases that are non-commercially interesting, we can change a few things. Here, I told you about the tracking aspect. We're tracking rhinos in Africa. There's a mission next week with WWF in I guess it's, I can't remember well, it's Zimbabwe, where we're going to be tracking rhinos so that for the people who are taking care of them, rhinos might die forever in a few years. So we're going to track them to avoid people and to make sure that the people looking after them can track them easier to avoid the people who are killing them. This is real case. Also one in Antarctica. 2 minutes left. 4 things to keep in mind to sum it up. Low power, I think is crucial. I think it was clear. Either low range, short range or long range, or Bluetooth, low power. Just by adding connectivity, it's not always creating new things. You can think it's completely different. Industrial IoT, don't focus on B2C, please. Look at B2B opportunities. And it's all around integration, end-to-end solution, how you manage the full cycle of your IoT project. It might sound obvious, but the problem is that when you're doing hardware, you're so excited about having a hardware that you forget the service in the end. And that's about it. My contact details are here. Happy to connect. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Microphone. Thank you very much. We can give one more time a big round of applause to Cédric. That was a really cool presentation. Thank you so much.